Good afternoon or good morning, hello, and welcome to This Date in History, also known as TDH. This show is all about the events that occurred to date in years past, both recognized by other historians, but mainly things that we personally find intriguing enough for us to bring to you. The sources of this information come from the Smart Device application, Today in History, What Happened Today in History, Historical Calendar, and the website onthisday.com. For links to the sources, the music done by Carrera, and anything else potentially interesting, check the underbar of the description below. Anyway, I'm Eozander, and today I am joined by...
Protoblob.
Yes. No worries about anybody talking over you, or you talking over anybody, because you're the only other one here. Anyway, today is Moon's Day, also known as Monday, December 12th, 2022. So let's jump on into history today, shall we? If you want to start at 627, that'd be fantastic.
Alright, we start at 12/12/627. The battle at Nineveh. Byzantine Emperor Heraclius beats Sassanid forces during the Byzantine-Sassanid War.
Huh. Alright. And I see there's another interesting one for me, actually, 1279. That looked pretty cool.
So, you can read it?
Okay. 1279, discovery of a sarcophagus supposedly containing the body of Mary Magdalene in the crypt of the Church of Saint Maximum, southeastern France. Wow. Huh.
Yeah. So, was it really her?
I don't know. Like, I haven't looked into it or anything, but, it's documented, so, there might have been something. I don't know. I mean, when it comes to, any religious thing, especially Christian, we can think of the Shroud of Torah, or whatever it's called, and that has been since been proven to be a fake, I believe, but I'm not sure. There's so many people out there just hell-bent on stepping on other people's beliefs that they literally make things up just to enforce their own, stance, so you never know. But I see this other one in 1408, if you don't mind me taking that as well. And then we'll get back to your turn.
Yeah, but before you do, I just wanted to say that also the search for the Holy Grail is still ongoing, and for the Ark of the Covenant, so...
Oh, yeah. And the Holy Grail itself, that's a weird one, because there's two Holy Grails. There's one that was, the cup used by, Jesus during the Last Supper. And then there's the other one that was used to catch Jesus' blood when he was being crucified. So which one is the actual Holy Grail? Or were those both the same cup? Or what? A lot of confusion. But speaking of religions and whatnot here, 1408, the Order of the Dragon was first created on December 12th in 1408 by Emperor Sigismund, who was king of Hungary at the time, and his wife, Queen Barbara of Celje, following the battle for possession of Bosnia. Huh. So that's interesting. The Order of the Dragon, you'd think that would have been something coming out of the East, but apparently not. Hungary, of all places. Alright.
Unfortunately, I don't know what the Order of the Dragon is.
Yeah, neither do I. But anyway, let's get back into your turn here. Sorry for that interruption there.
Oh, don't worry. Just let's hope that they didn't shout Fusroda all day.
Fusroda!
In 1694, the Royal Society censors Edmund Halley for suggesting in a paper titled Some Considerations About the Cause of the Universal Deluge that the story of that could be an account of a cometary impact.
Huh.
So, Edmund had his comet named after him, thought that the Great Flood that is talked about in all cultures, all mythologies, all religions is been caused by a cometary impact. As we understand it nowadays, it was caused by the end of the Ice Age.
Yeah, the flood, is not only a Christian or a Jewish thing, in the Old Testament, Noah's flood. As you said, it's been mentioned here and there in practically all theologies of that area, and even in other areas too. There are mentions of floods and whatnot, the Great Flood, and when you peel back, history at some point becomes mythology. What was fact becomes what is a belief. So, like, when it comes to, like, all of these things, there's a grain of truth in everything, even though that it has been lost to time and buried under a whole bunch of jargon. There's still something out in there, and that's really intriguing. So,
yeah.
yeah.
Recently, a small channel called The White House did a video on Tesla and the Great Pyramids, and he also mentioned the Great Flood there, and thought that maybe the pyramids are older than the flood, and that's one of the theories about them.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, the whole aspect of, like, ancient civilizations and such, and not just like the ones we know of, but prehistoric civilizations of greatness, of akin to and even beyond, what we have. Because, like, when you think about it, Chernobyl, Pripyat, stuff like, that's been abandoned for 60, 70 years now, and it's like, how long before something becomes completely taken over by nature? How long before the foundations disappear, before the roads disappear, before everything melts back into the land, so to speak? Like, how long before whatever plot of land that civilization or that city, that township, whatever it is, gets pushed under a tectonic plate and then it's gone forever? Like, it's
yes.
it's truly astounding, to think, that there could have been, like, most likely, was an extremely advanced civilization operating by, like, societal rules and standards that are alien to us, because, like, like, and I know I'm going on a ramble, but, like, how lucky are we to have oil? Think about it. If it wasn't for oil and stuff, we would not have an industrial revolution. So, how are things on other planets, getting along without certain things? What do they have that we don't? What do we have that they don't? The stems of progress branch out so wildly that, like, and getting back on the topic with the pyramids here, like there's a whole bunch of theories that, like, those pyramids, not just the ones in Egypt, but all over the world, like, it was a grid tapping into the Earth's natural magnetic field for free energy, as Tesla was trying to do, So
if you assume evolution works, most people think, then let us assume other civilizations maybe don't have oil or coal, but maybe they have uranium and such things, and then that could mean that they are actually immune to radiation.
Yeah,
they could have evolved differently.
You're right. Like, if their environment is, like, naturally radioactive, the life would have to adapt to be living in radioactivity. And
yeah,
that can't happen. It has. We have animals around Chernobyl and Pripyat, but let's get back on track here in 1700.
Okay, it's an interesting topic, but we need to get on. In 1700, in Utrecht, Overijssel, Buren, Leerdam, and IJsselstein, they adopt the Gregorian calendar. So it's 5 cities in the Netherlands. Utrecht, of course, is a treaty that was later signed there. Or was it earlier?
Treaty of Utrecht? I'm not entirely sure. Like, that's the only word I recognize, out of those 5.
Leerdam is famous for its cheese.
Okay.
At least here in Europe.
Treaty of Utrecht was 1713, so just before.
All right. And I think it's your turn again.
All right. We are going to move on up to, before we do, let's see if I'm missing anything in the Michaelis channel, 1822. No, I'm not yet. 1787, Pennsylvania became the second state to ratify the U.S. Constitution. All right. Then, moving on up into 1792, in Vienna, Ludwig von Beethoven, at the age of 22, received his first lesson in music composition from Franz Joseph Haydn. Wow. He started late.
One who was blind?
Yes. No, he wasn't blind.
Yeah,
he was deaf. He was deaf.
Deaf, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the joke is that Beethoven was so deaf for all his life he thought he was painting.
Huh. Wow. Well, he was painting, but on the ears, not on the eyes. But then 1822, 200 years ago on this date, Mexico was officially recognized as an independent nation by the U.S. All right, cool. That's really cool.
And of course, a few years after the War of 1812, which was in 1812.
Yes, 1812 to 1814 or 15, somewhere in there.
Oh, wait. Oh, I was thinking about the War of 1812, but that was not the one between the U.S. and Mexico. That was
no. No, that was the Mexican-American War. And
yes.
That was... when was that? Mexican-American War. I know it was after that.
Later. To 1848.
Yeah, 1846 to 1848, which is wild because, 15 years later, we had the Civil War. So...
Yeah.
Huh. That's interesting. I wonder why Mexico didn't try to make moves against us when we were busy fighting ourselves. Or maybe they were having their own little revolution as well. Mexico's had a lot of civil wars. But I see here in 1858, it's your turn now if you want to take that one. That's interesting.
All right. The first Canadian coins ever circulated in 1858. Those were coins for 1 cent, 5 cent, 10 cent, and 20 cent.
Now that's interesting. 20 cents rather than 25. So the dollar is split into fives, not into fours. That's interesting. Huh.
In Germany, rather Europe, it's the same. It's 1, 2, 5, 10, 20, 50, and so on. I think €1, €2, and then there's a €5 coin that is rarely used, and then there come the money, the banknotes.
That's confusing. That's too many coins to keep track of. We out here in the States, we have the penny, the nickel, 1, 5, the dime is 10, the quarter is 25. We have a 50-cent piece, and of course we do have the dollar coins. But we're actually, there's been talk about making moves about finally, although this is nothing new, they've been trying to get rid of the penny for years, but I think they're finally doing it this next year. They're finally getting out of it and switching to a 0.0 and 0.5 decimal scale for economy rather than having the individual numbers in there either. So we're going to be fully getting rid of the penny and maybe the quarter, because if we're no, the quarter is a 0.5, so never mind. But
it reminds me, by the way, that I recently heard in Tom Scott's podcast that there is something else measured in dollars and cents, and that is radioactive reactions. So when it reaches $1, you have a chain reaction that can't be stopped anymore.
Huh. I wonder if anybody's ever called that a change reaction. Maybe I'm not making any sense, but who knows?
I think they called it the Chernobyl disaster.
Anyway, I see that we have been joined by none other than Kratos, the god of war. Welcome, Mr. Spartan.
Yeah. Big fist.
Big fist. Anyway, you got one more, right? 1874?
All right. In 1874, David Kalakaua is the first king to visit the United States as guest of Ulysses S. Grant, as the first U.S. state dinner. At the first U.S. state dinner at the White House.
Wow.
That was a very bad misspeaking.
Well, I understood it, but no, that's awesome. So not only was it the first state dinner, but it was he was the first Hawaiian to visit the U.S. or the first Hawaiian king, and he was in that dinner. So that's awesome.
Yeah, he was invited to the dinner. He was not the main course. It was at the dinner, not as the dinner.
No, he's not the dinner. No. Anyway, 1878, Joseph Pulitzer began publishing the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, which must have been a newspaper because he's a newspaper publisher. So, yeah.
Yes, and we talked about it before. He later had that Pulitzer Prize named after him, and also he had a nephew who also became a newspaper editor.
Ah,
Yeah.
all right. He looks like a newspaper editor. So, and then we also have 1901. Guglielmo Marconi sent the first transatlantic radio signal from Poldhu in Cornwall to Newfoundland in Canada. So the first transatlantic radio signal. That's cool.
Yes.
We're talking to each other across an ocean, dude. That's awesome. Like, so many people take technology for granted these days. I mean, like, children are born with smart devices out of the womb now. Like, the concept of, like, you know, like these technological breakthroughs, you know, falls on so many deaf ears that it's really sad to see that people, like, you know, don't really respect this stuff, you know, as much as they should. Because, like, think about it. Like, I was going off about this the other day about the first presidential radio broadcast. Like, imagine being in a time where, you know, you didn't know, like, you know, what your president looked like other than, you know, what the newspapers pictures had. Like, you know,
yeah.
or even before pictures, like, you know, what they said on the newspaper. But then one day you can hear his voice on the radio 100 miles away. You know, like, that's amazing. You know?
Yeah, you can go to the internet nowadays. You can hear speeches of Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, Donald Trump, Joe Biden. You can hear the old speeches whenever you want, and back in the day that just did not happen. They were not even recorded, other than my writing.
Oh yeah, no, like the concept of recording is actually a relatively new one itself as well, because like you know, like we were talking about the Ed Sullivan Show and all that stuff, like, you know, the Tonight Show, with, you know, like in the very early TV shows and everything. A lot of those were not recorded, and if they were, they probably were recorded over. You know, and like things were not saved into an archive until later. And even then, like, there was one incident at, I think it was the Warner Brothers studio, where there's a massive fire and they lost like 80 to 90% of all their recordings. Like, there are truckloads of media that will never come back, that they're lost forever, you know, and that's really sad.
There was this rather unknown British TV show named Doctor Who, which was unknown enough for the BBC to tape over the original tape.
Oh no!
So those episodes are also lost forever.
Man, that's a tragedy, dude. If time travel ever is invented, like, it would probably be used to, like, go back and get those recordings, you know, like.
Yeah.
So.
Maybe someone can tell Mr. Marconi that we have all the knowledge of the world available today in a pocket, and we use the device just to look up cat pictures.
Yeah. Anyway, you got another. Actually, I think. Do I have one more, or do you have one more? I have one more.
I don't know.
1902, German historian Theodor Mommsen was awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature for his historical writing, with special reference to his monumental work, A History of Rome. All right.
I wonder what that work was about. The name doesn't tell us.
I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with Yugoslavia? Like, who knows?
Maybe with Greece. We will never know.
I don't know. Ooh, 1915. The one above the historic event here. The aircraft one. That's interesting.
All right. In 1915, the first all-metal aircraft Junkers J1 test was flown at Dessau, Germany.
Nice. First all-metal aircraft. That didn't take long. The Junkers J1. Let's see what this looked like. Oh, wow.
It is called Junkers. It is not Junkers.
Junkers. No, Junkers. So. Huh. So that's interesting.
If it was all Junkers, then it wouldn't have flown.
Huh. Anyway. Two more?
Alright. In 1915, Aristide Briand formed the French war government. That was shortly after over 1 year after the World War I started.
Yep. Like a year and a month and change or something like that.
And in 1917, a French troop train derailed in the French Alps, killing 543.
Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, they were probably going to fight the Ottomans. You know, they're the trench warfare. You know, went all the way from the Alps all the way to the north. You know, how many hundreds of miles? Like 300 miles or something crazy. Like,
I don't know.
Absolutely insane. And then sorry.
Yeah, it was called at the time the War to End All Wars.
Oh,
so
yes.
maybe that can give away the scale. It was later renamed to World War.
Yeah, well, when you think about it, it's still technically going on because, like, World War II was just an extension of World War One, and then out of that came the Cold War, the nuclear arms race, and everything, and that's just an extension out of the end of World War II. So technically, we're still fighting the same shit over 100 years later, just with a couple intermissions and bathroom breaks and whatnot, you know.
And with the weapons we have today, we hope it is not the war to end all wars.
Oh, well, with what we have today with, kinetic bombardment, we don't even need nukes anymore. Nukes are antiquated. They're a thing of the past. They're relics. Now we have, we can, launch tungsten rods from orbit and destroy entire cities, without causing an explosion. Just, shift the Earth tectonically by dropping a lot of weight on a small point in the surface.
Yeah.
So.
But most people don't get the scale of nukes. They see what happened in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and then they think that is it. But if you would drop a nuke on New York City today, you would still feel it in Chicago.
Oh yeah, well no, those nukes back then were very small. Those were atomic bombs. Now we have hydrogen bombs, and now we have things that the Tsar Bomba. The Tsar Bomba, it was built to have a yield of 100 megatons, and it was dropped with only 50, and that was the largest man-made explosion ever on the face of this Earth, or on the face of anywhere else. As far as I'm aware of, mankind's contribution to explosions. But and from what I heard, they dialed it back from 100 to 50 because they believed that it was actually gonna melt that atmosphere. So, they're just oh, hey, let's not melt the atmosphere. So, yeah. But we have the ability to do that, on top of all the other things. And recently, we got, the Navy has laser weapons now, not just for defensive, but for offensive purposes. Now we've figured out a way to utilize light itself as a weapon. So that's insane.
Yes.
Oh.
That reminds me of the Bob Dylan song, God on Our Side, which I think we are.
Well, I know that we have a God on our side. He's right over there, Kratos, the God of War. What better way to have a God, on your side of a war than the God of War itself? So, but anyway, you got one here in 1920. Actually, did you read that or what? I don't think you did.
Not yet. But it is about Mr. Ravel, the famous composer also. In 1920, Maurice Ravel's ballet La Valse premieres in Paris. And what was it? Wait, was Ravel Spanish?
Let me see. He was French.
No, he was French. I thought of another thing of the same name. That's where Nokia stole their ringtone. So. Yeah, that was not Ravel. That was another one.
Anyway,
that was the Granval by Francisco Tarrega.
Anyway, we're going to move on up to 1925. The last Qajar Shah of Iran was deposed. Reza Shah Pahlavi took over. Alright. And at the same time, in 1925, Medina surrendered to Saudi forces led by Sultan Abdulaziz ibn Saud. Okay.
The ibn in the Arabic names means the son of.
Alright. And we got a music concert here in 1926. Dmitry Shostakovich's first piano concert premiered in Leningrad. This guy. So this is his first.
Yes.
Well, alright then.
Shostakovich was a very famous composer in Russia.
Yes, he was. He has a lot of articles. We've been speaking about him so often, I actually know how to pronounce his name kind of now. So, yeah, I've been conditioned. So, you got a Alice article here in 1933, Mr. Blob.
All right. In 1933, Eddie Shore hits the Toronto Maple Leaf star Ace Bailey from behind, fracturing his skull and ending his career in the NHL.
Oh, that's not cool, man. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That sounds dangerous.
That is a cheap shot. Why are you hitting people in the back of the head, bro? That is cheap. You coward. Wow. This guy, Eddie Shore, what a coward.
Oh, if you click on the Eddie Shore site, biography, a bruiser known for his violence.
Ah. Wow.
If that's what you're known for, you do something wrong.
Huh, cause of death, lung infection. Yeah, it serves you right, you jackass. So, wow.
Wow.
This guy ruined somebody's life, you know? Fractured his skull and ended his career. That's a life-changing moment right there. You know, this guy's...
Yeah.
Wow. Anyway, let's move on up before I keep getting angry about this guy.
Yeah, you can get angry about more guys because in 1936 the Chinese leader Chiang Kai-shek declared war on Japan.
Well, that's because Japan was invading them. You know, I'm not going to get mad at Chiang Kai-shek at all. So.
But you can get mad at political leaders in general who use the people as their pawns that can be sacrificed.
Yeah. And that reminds me, I got to send a link to the live show here to Alice. Copy link. So let's see here. Blah, blah, blah. Pam Poovy. Oh, there you are. Alright, Johnny Be Good is watching, by the way. Whoever outside lines is Heavy Light. Maybe that's Johnny, I don't know. But we have at least 2 viewers, maybe. So, yeah, well, thank you for watching, Mr. Johnny. AO Prime. Anyway, let's give him a good show here to enjoy. You have Uno Mas, I believe?
Yeah, I just wonder about Chiang Kai-shek because he was succeeded in 1931 by Lin Sen as president, but well, our viewers are invited to look up the history if they are interested.
You're saying he was succeeded by somebody, or he succeeded them?
No, it seems he was succeeded by Lin Sen.
Huh. All right. I don't see where you're looking at, but all right. Let's move on here before we make the show way too long.
In 1946, the United Nations accept 6 Manhattan blocks as a gift from John D. Rockefeller Jr.
Ah, okay. So I guess, yeah, okay. So that's what eventually became the UN building. So
I think so.
Yeah, because the United Nations was formed in either 45 or 46 as a like not a predecessor, but as a successor to the League of Nations, which I didn't know. But there was like at least like a one or so years of a moment in time where both the League of Nations and United Nations as separate entities existed for the same reason. So that's wild.
Okay, as I see, Lin Sen was the head of the state, but he was a puppet of Chiang Kai-shek, apparently, who was the military chief.
Okay, that would make sense because this guy, he was the leader of real China that eventually fled to Taiwan because of the CCP and whatnot. So,
all right.
Let's move on up to there's one here. Okay, you read that. Here we go. 1948 Malayan emergency. Bodakang Kali massacre. 14 members of the Scots Guards stationed in Malaysia allegedly massacre 24 unarmed civilians and set fire to the village. That's not nice. So,
yeah.
I wonder why they're doing that. Like, 1948. I don't know. But anyway, then we have 1953 here. Chuck Yeager reached Mach 2.43 in a Bell X-1A rocket plane. That is fast. Let's see what this.
We recently talked about his death. Now we talk about his great achievements.
Yeah. Well, Yeager, he was the one who broke the sound barrier, right?
Yes, I think so.
But I don't think this is when he initially broke it. He's just reaching, when did... Because the first actual... when did man break the sound barrier? 1947. Yeah, Yeager in the Bell X-1. Rocket-propelled experimental aircraft, yeah. But the actual first instance of it was unintentional breaking of the sound barrier was way before that, when someone in an airplane did a nosedive, and then they accidentally broke the sound barrier.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but anyway.
Yeah, each time you do that, it sends a loud noise to the ground, so don't do that.
Oh, yeah, breaking the sound barrier?
Yes.
Yes. Then in 1955, film adaptation of The Rose Tattoo starring Anna Magnani and Burt Lancaster premiered at the Astor Theater in Times Square, New York City. All right. And then I believe you have one here in 1957.
Yes, the United States announced the manufacture of borason, which is harder than diamond.
Huh. Well then. So much for diamond being the hardest substance on Earth. Oh.
Yeah, it's a cubic form of boron nitride and nitrate. I mean.
So I guess diamonds are the hardest naturally occurring things on Earth, but we've since synthesized things even harder. So.
Yeah, and borason seems to be the brand name for the cubic form of boron nitride. I butchered that word again, I think. Let's continue before I butcher more words with the 1961 Ballon d'Or in football, soccer. Juventus Argentine forward Omar Sivori wins award for the best football player in Europe ahead of Spanish midfielder Luis Suarez and English forward Johnny Haynes.
Huh. Why does it look like he's wearing a prison uniform? Like
that's their tricot. Their I don't know the English word.
Uniform?
Yeah, their sports uniform.
Ah. The banality of evil, huh?
Yeah, at the same day, Nazi German army officer Adolf Eichmann is found guilty of war crimes in Israel.
Good.
That the term "the banality of evil" was phrased by Hannah Arendt, who described him as, someone everyone could have been him.
Yeah, Adolf Eichmann was an awful person. So.
Yeah. He was the leader of one of the biggest conspiracies in history.
Mm-hmm.
The Holocaust.
Yeah. Yeah.
6 million Jews and many million other people.
Well, the Jews, the mentally challenged, gypsies, anybody who's not of pure Aryan blood and descent, was at risk of getting purged. So,
Yeah, and there is a very famous quote, but I don't find it currently, where he essentially thought that he had no regrets. So that might have been part also of how he got the death sentence.
Well, let's stop dwelling on evil. Let's move on up here to 1963 here.
In 1963, Argentina asked for the extradition of ex-president Juan Perón, who, as I always love to say, was also mentioned in Billy Joel's "We Didn't Start the Fire."
Huh. I have to listen to that song. I've heard it mentioned like a lot recently, and I just have yet to listen to it.
Yeah, always by me.
Yep. But at the same time, in 1963, Frank Sinatra Jr. was returned by kidnappers after his father paid the $240,000 ransom demanded. And he was abducted, what, 2 days ago or something we spoke about?
I think so.
Yeah. Oh, and then 1963 as well, Kenya, formerly British East Africa, declared independence from UK. So yeah, that one guy, what's his face, Kenyatta, the founder of Kenya, and now his son is the leader of Kenya. And we were talking about this earlier. Like Kenya is turning into maybe a royalty thing, like how the family runs the country, something like that.
I don't know. I actually was in Kenya in 1995 as a child and it's an interesting country. Like you have a lot of poverty, of course, but you also have tribes who live still with nature, and you also have a tourism industry, and it's parts of it are pretty much industrialized and modern, and other parts are just like tribes and a lot of nature.
Yeah. Well, I'm wondering, like, why were you in Kenya anyway? Like, just vacationing with family, or did your dad have a business something, or? Huh.
We also did a safari, but we only shot photos, of course, not the animals.
I'd like to go visit Kenya one day. Like, there's this meme I saw with this guy. He has the entire world tattooed on his back, and then he was getting the countries filled in, for the ones he's visited. And like, if I was ever gonna get a tattoo, I'd do it for that. Like, that's an awesome idea. But anyway, I'm going to take us up here to 1964. Shooting starts for Star Trek pilot The Cage Menagerie. And then for some reason we have George Takei, oh my, as the only guy, even though we're supposed to have Captain Kirk there and Spock, But
by the way, the T in James T. Kirk stands for Tiberius, and it was named after the river Tiber. The same as Tiberium in the Command & Conquer series is named after.
Okay. I knew about the Tiberius. I did not know what it was named after, and I did know about Tiberium, so that was a lot of information I understood really quick. That's cool.
But Tiberius also was the name of a Roman emperor, so...
That is true as well. Then in 1965, Chicago halfback Gale Sayers tied NFL record for most touchdowns in a game with 6 in 61-20 victory over San Francisco 49ers at Wrigley Field. All right. Huh. That's interesting. The NFL playing at Wrigley. I thought that was a baseball diamond, but oh well.
And I thought what it's doing now.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, Wrigley's big shoe. Then 1966, A Man for All Seasons, based on the play by Robert Bolt, directed by Fred Zinnerman and starring Paul Scofield, premiered in New York, later to receive the Best Picture of 1967. Nice. And then back to you. You got some tennis here.
All right. We have in 1968, Arthur Ashe becomes the first black person to be ranked number 1 in tennis.
Nice.
And also at the same day in Northern Ireland, the Prime Minister Terence O'Neill received overwhelming support from the Unionist members of the Parliament, the MPs at Stormont.
All right. Must be like something involving like Irish Free State and whatnot. So.
Probably.
Yeah.
As we talked about before the show, Northern Ireland is a very troubled country with this history, and let's move on to 1969. The comedy film The Magic Christian was premiering in London, starring Peter Sellers and Ringo Starr.
Oh, all right. That's cool.
So you have one guy who is an actor and comedian, and another who is the Beatles drummer, and they start together in a movie, and I don't know for whom it was the bigger honor to play with the other.
And we're going to move on up here to 1970. I'm seeing that I'm reading most of your contributions here, so I'm sorry about that. But 1970, a small astronomy satellite, Explorer 42, was launched to study X-rays. So that's cool.
And I actually only included that to say that 42 indeed is the answer to life, the universe, and everything.
Yes, that is correct. That is the answer, but what's the question? Well, then 1970. Yep, I have not seen Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy yet, so that's yet another movie. But I did see. What did I see last night? Oh man, I forgot already.
Death of Joseph Stalin.
Yes, that's right. Death of Stalin. That was a good movie. So, wow, you know I'm a stoner when you remember things better than I do. Like, remember what I've done better than what I myself can recollect. Anyway, 1971, Romanian tennis star Aili Natasi finished ATP Masters Grand Prix with a perfect 6-0 record to win the rich season-ending event at the Coubertin Stadium in Paris. All right.
That sounds like a great result.
Yeah, 6-0. That's good.
His opponent had no chance.
Yeah, like I think because with the perfect 6-0, you see that there's no other this to that numbers. So he squashed him so hard on the court that he didn't even get more rounds. Like he wins flat out. Like basically the same thing as that one boxing thing we spoke about yesterday, where that one guy knocked out the other guy in a minute. So.
Yeah, but it says 6-0 record, not 6-0 game. So I wonder if maybe that means that he just won 6 matches and his.
Okay, that would make more sense. Yes, that's right. Okay. I really hope nobody listens to me too much because I most of the time I'm just talking out of my ass. So, but anyway, right back to you, 1972.
All right, in 1972 we have a film premiere, The Poseidon Adventure, starring Gene Hackman, Ernest Borgnine, and Shelley Winters, and Jack Albertson. It was premiering in New York City.
All right.
In 1974, the 50-year-old Georgia Governor Jimmy Carter announces his candidacy for the Democratic nomination for president.
All right.
And he supposedly said, "My name is Jimmy Carter and I'm running for president."
All right.
And in 1975, Sarah Jane Moore pled guilty to trying to kill U.S. President Gerald Ford.
What the hell?
I didn't hear of that before.
I don't remember that either. That's wild. So. Then we got some sports history in 1976. Quarterback Joe Namath, his last game as a New York Jet, occurred on this date back in that time. All right. And then 1977, Saturday Night Fever, a film starring John Travolta, premiered in New York City. That's a famous movie. Yet another one I have to see. Let's see here. Movies. Saturday Night Fever. All right.
And as we see on the photo, they also received the Billboard #1 Music Award for the movie.
Yes, they did.
Or they're probably of the same name.
I see hot dogs trying to stir shit with Hawk. That's not good. Anyway, we're going to move on up to 1979, I believe. Yep. 1979, President of Pakistan Zia-ul Haq conferred Nishan-e-Imtiaz on Nobel laureate Dr. Abdus Salam. Okay.
I looked it up. The Nishan-e-Imtiaz, that's the first highest civilian award of Pakistan.
Oh, cool. So the president was talking to the first Pakistani to receive the Nobel Prize, oh, hey, you have my attention type thing. That's cool.
Yeah. I didn't know what that word was, so But back to Mr. Salam, he did physics and about elementary particles and quantum field theory. And so he was a pioneer in the unifying of natural forces since the 1950s, and his research led to the standard model of elementary particles.
That's awesome.
So he was really one of the big physicians, I think.
A big contributor to the advancement of human technological, society, essentially.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, I see that Kratos is unmuted. Are you here?
Yes.
Are you eating cereal?
Boy. I'm eating noodles.
Noodles. All right. Well, we haven't given you a turn in a while. If you don't mind, I know you're eating noodles, but it'd be awesome if you can read the two 1980s here.
Alrighty. 1980, Apple makes its initial public offering on the U.S. stock market. And 38 years later, it would become the first U.S. company to be valued at over $1 trillion.
My God.
Jesus, that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot.
That is like an incomprehensible amount of money. Like, seriously, I cannot wrap my mind around that number that big. That's insane. $1 trillion.
I wonder how many Bugattis I could buy with that.
How many Bugattis? Like, all of them?
What color is your Bugatti?
Yes.
Classic Andrew Tate line. What color is your Bugatti?
No, with that kind of money, you can just... With that kind of money, you can just buy Bugatti,
Dude, honestly, I don't like the dude, but that line cracks me up every time I hear it. What color is your Bugatti?
For that kind of money, you could even buy Twitter.
That reminds me. That reminds me of Scotty Bugatti. I miss him. So, yeah.
Do you know the story behind the name Apple?
The company?
The fruit.
Yes. So one of the founders was employed by Atari, I think, and then left the company. And because he wanted to be prior to them in the phone book, he chose the name Apple.
Oh my God! Wow. So it was a classic case of Discord one-upping. Like, you know how people like to put in the stupid symbols in front of their name, like, oh, my name's noticed first, look at me! Like, my name is Andrews Colligan, or whatever. Like, that's ridiculous. But I wouldn't put it past him to be that petty. That's funny.
I mean, my username is #StarShoe.
#StarShoe.
Oh, actually, in 1975, both Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak worked for Atari.
Ah. Huh.
So they both were petty about that. Or just they thought it makes more money if they are listed first.
Well, I see one here in 1979 just now. This is interesting to me personally. Gold hit a record $462.50 an ounce. That's a lot.
Damn.
Yeah.
Anywho, also in... Oh.
No, go ahead.
Huh? Alright. Also in 1980, U.S.'s copyright law amended to include computer programs.
Ah. Yep.
I think that's when they started implementing them in school.
Yeah.
It was around that time.
Yeah. So that's when we all started to do illegal things. Before that, it was legal.
The most technologically advanced, oversized box.
Yeah. Yo, speaking of damn, the 1982 one here, the money one. Holy crap, dude.
Oh shit. In 1982, 9.8 million in cash is stolen from a money transport car in New York City.
Holy crap.
Holy fuck.
That puts the 300 million yen heist from Japan into shame. Like,
it's like, whoo.
That's a lot of money.
That's just from a car.
Just so you have a dimension of how much money that is almost enough to fill a gas tank today.
Ha, ha, ha. I can attest to that, being a Californian. So, but
Yeah,
anyway,
you can validate that.
Mr. Blob, let's get back to you here.
All right, we have
Funny.
Australian Open women's tennis in 1982. Chris Evert-Lloyd wins her first Australian title, beating Martina Navratilova with 3-2-6, 6-3. So Navratilova
Ah,
was fighting back, but in the end, Chris Evert-Lloyd won.
yep.
All right.
Oh wait, there's football one you missed.
Where?
Just scroll up. It's yeah, that one right
that
there,
one.
1982.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Blob, if you don't mind taking the
snowplow
1982.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which one?
The snowplow game, 1982.
Which one in 1982?
The snowplow game.
The
one directly underneath the one you just read.
All right. In 1982, the snowplow game, when a snowstorm holds a New England versus Miami game scoreless, Mark Henderson, a convict on work release on Patriots coach Ron Meyer order, clears the path for John Smith's attempt, which wins the game for the Patriots 3-0. I had no clue what I even read.
Basically, essentially, they were playing in the snow, and like nobody can score a point because the field was covered in snow. And then somebody became a snowplow and scored a goal for the Tom Brady's before they became the Tom Brady's, essentially.
See, the officials of the NFL have been in the Patriots' pocket for years.
So I guess that was the only time an actual convict won a sports game.
Yeah.
So, regarding that, honestly, I'm gonna have to say it. It's just disappointing. Like, they couldn't score. The Eagles and Lions will just laugh in their faces because they scored they scored way more.
Huh.
And there was a pile of snow
A pile.
at the Eagles field.
It's a regular winter wonderland. Boy, look at that tree. And now it's covered in snow. Orange juice. Anyway, before we do the split, Blob has one more in 86. Another Australia cricket, mate.
Yeah, so I just wanted to say they got their white Christmas a bit early
Yes.
when they won that game. In the 1986 Australian cricketer David Boone's fourth Test century, 103 versus England at Adelaide in cricket.
All right.
Yeah, I said that.
In cricket. Because my dad's not here, I have to say it for him. Cricket.
All right.
So, anyway, we're going to do the split here. All right, welcome to part 2. We're going to go back to Mr. Kratos, have him start us off, and then I'll go, and then Blob, and we'll go in that rotation. So, switching it up a little bit. Mr. Kratos, if you want, 1988. Actually, hold on a second. We might have one before that.
Boy.
86, 1986, sorry.
Yes.
Okay, boy.
The Russian 1986, Mr. Kratos.
In 1986, Russian Tupolev 134 crashes in East Berlin. 70 died.
Wow.
Damn.
What?
Yeah.
How big was that plane? Let's see this. Tupolev
Well, it's
134. Oh, one of these. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's one of those. Oh, it's one of those old airlines.
Yeah. Well, this is Russia. How could you fit 100 people in there? I mean, there must have been some deaths on the ground. Like.
It was 70.
Back in the day when airlines had see-through noses.
What the hell?
You know,
That's so dumb. Huh?
You know, you fit some of the people inside the airplane, and a few more fit in the cargo room, and it works out.
I was gonna make a joke, but it's too early. It happened a couple years ago. But people riding the aircraft like they do with their trains in India, just grabbing on the outside of it. But no, it's too early to make that joke. Afghanistan.
What did I just hear? And the NATO reporting name for the Tupolev Tu-134 is Krusty.
Oh God.
I do not make that up.
Crusty. Well, it looked crusty. Anyway, Mr. God of War. Yeah, another one in 1988, if you don't mind.
Alrighty. In 1988, Rain Man, directed by Barry Levinson and starring Dustin Hoffman and Tom Cruise, premieres in New York. Best Picture, 1989.
Ah.
Yeah, from
the man that likes to show off his sprinting speed.
Yep.
Yeah, from what I remember, that was a movie about some autistic guy who wins big in the casino.
Huh.
But I don't remember the details. It's too long since I watched it.
I don't know.
If he's as fast as he says he is, he should be in the NFL.
Isn't he really short though? Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, Frank Gore played and he's 5'9".
Yeah, but Tom Cruise could be the ball. You know.
But think about it though. There are guys that have played in the NFL that are like 5.5 foot tall. Like they're only like 5'5" and 5'4".
Huh.
And one of them was more recent. I don't know what happened to him, but he did play for the Eagles. I think his name was Darren Sproles.
That makes me wonder if he was that small and he played for the Eagles. Maybe one of the Eagles took him, you know, and like used him to feed his babies.
Threw him.
I don't know.
They just threw him. Just
big fist.
Big fist.
Anyway, you have one more here in 88.
In 1988, Sandra Miller of Queens sues Mike Tyson for sexual harassment.
God. Mike Tyson.
And I think that's also one of the reasons why Mike Tyson was dropped from the Punch-Out series.
Dude, what would you do if Mike Tyson just, like, stood up from behind me? Like, in the camera, just like, oh, shit. That'd be frightening. Like, well, that's the end of this day in history. Ayo died. Anyway, 1992, Japanese Crown Prince Naruhito announced engagement to Misaka Owada. Why do we care? I guess because he was the Emperor of Japan, but whoop-de-doo, you know?
Crown Prince. You get a nice haircut, dude.
Wow.
He looks like a fucking Steve.
He looks like a Steve. He does look like a Steve.
He looks like a Steve.
He has a Steve, you know, thing going on.
It's like Steve if his entire diet consisted of a bunch of random vending machines.
Hey, you know, for some Japanese, that is true. They have vending machines for literally everything over there. It's nuts. Mm-hmm. You know, even like lingerie. You can buy lingerie from a vending machine over there. Like, it's absolutely insane. So
you can even buy. How do I put that? Pants with
edible underpants. Yeah.
With that smell, like
What are you saying?
What are you insinuating?
I'm confused.
Like pants that smell as if they were worn by a woman.
Oh yeah, that's right. I've heard about that. Yeah, the used panties. Like
yes.
Yeah, they have a vending machine that sells used panties. So, yeah.
Big in Japan.
Yeah, God, of course. Anyway, 1995, Israeli Prime Minister Shimon Peres addressed both houses of the U.S. Congress. All right.
So, I think probably also we talked a few days ago about Yasser Arafat talking to.
Yes.
Was that the same thing or?
Yasser Arafat was doing something. I don't remember exactly what, but he was doing something. But.
Yeah. Anyway, Yasser Arafat, Shimon Peres, and Yitzhak Rabin had won the Nobel Peace Prize the year before. So.
Yes, that's true. That was a couple days ago. We did the Nobel Prize Day. So. Anyway, what happened in '97?
Yeah, I was just trying to say they were essentially trying to negotiate peace in the Middle East altogether.
Oh yeah, and recently, someone with a blonde cabbage on his head, was doing pretty good over there. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's Abraham Accords.
Yeah. I see Kratos is trying to look sexy in the camera. So.
What?
Trying to give us that rock face. So.
And the big fist.
The big fist. Anyway, let's move on up to 97 here. I think it's Blob's turn.
Oh, you want me to read that? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that hurts because I watched his show as a child.
Oh, yeah.
In 1997, Fed judge sentences Autumn Jackson, who claims to be Bill Cosby's daughter, to 26 months for trying to extort $40 million from him.
Wow.
And, Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
Later, you all know the story. In 2000, U.S. Supreme Court releases a decision in Bush versus Gore, settling the recount dispute in Florida's 2000 presidential election in George W. Bush's favor, and thus handing him the presidency.
Well, what a coincidence. The Florida was a hangout and a decision maker in that presidential election, and who was governor of the Florida at the time? Oh, Jeb Bush, George Bush's brother. That's a conflict of interest right there. So, yeah. So, people are talking about, something involving, election fraud, recently. Well, the right did that back then, too. Neither side is innocent. Both sides are very guilty. So.
There is election fraud in each election by both sides. Just one side always does it better than the other.
That is true. That is very true.
Recent one, they couldn't have made it more blatantly obvious, and yet people still didn't listen.
Yeah, well, that just makes people like me seem that, believe that we're right, because I think that, voting is just a farce. Because what better way to keep an entire population under your thumb than to give them the illusion that they can actually get out of it, But that's just me.
Yeah, there are many people who were lifelong Republicans, and after that they voted Democrat.
Yep. Anyway, let's move on to Mr. Swoley 2001.
In 2001, Winona Ryder is arrested on shoplifting charges in Beverly Hills, California.
Wow, really?
So you could say she became the rider in the police car.
Ha! Yeah, oh wow, ha. But seriously though, you're an actress. You can't, buy it, really? That's stupid. When famous people get caught for stupid crap like this, it's just why, dude? You have money. Just buy it.
We got plenty of money. You have millions.
Yeah.
I think she didn't do it for the money. She did it for the thrills.
Oh yeah, of course she did it for the thrills. But if you want a really good thrill, go to an amusement park or something, man. There's go to Six Flags Magic Mountain. They have coasters out the wazoo.
Exactly. Yeah, roller coasters, man. Roller coasters.
You want to get your heart pumping and shit your pants? Go ride on Superman. Come on. No.
I think Alice would do that.
She would.
Wait, ride Superman?
She would ride on Superman.
Oh my god.
Yeah, she would ride Superman, wouldn't she?
Anyway, let's move on up to 2002. You sick freaks.
Please God, it.
It was funny, okay?
It was.
Alrighty. In 2002, Ballon d'Or Inter/Real Madrid forward Ronaldo is named best football player in Europe for a second time ahead of Real Madrid. Left back Roberto Carlos and Bayern Munich goalkeeper Oliver Kahn.
Kahn!
Yeah, Oliver Kahn, he really is a great goalkeeper. His team, Bayern Munich, it won lots of National League, Bundesliga titles, and also other cups. So,
all right, uno más, Mr. Kratos.
In 2003, Paul Martin becomes Prime Minister of Canada after resignation of John Creatine.
All right.
I'm just gonna call him. I'm gonna call it Creatine.
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 Jean Creton.
Get the creatine. Get the creatine to get the church of pub.
The Church of Pub.
The church of pub.
Oh, well, this one's interesting. 2015, the first woman ever elected in Saudi Arabia in municipal council elections. Wow. That's cool. So women are finally being viewed as human beings over there. About time. You know? And 2000, are you having a drinking problem or something? What's going on with you, Kratos? Like...
It's like I was holding a coffee mug.
Oh, but why are you pouring it into your eye?
Like the meme.
Oh. 2016 Ballon d'Or, Real Madrid forward Cristiano Ronaldo claimed award for the fourth time. Record-winning margarine of 400... margin, not margarine. Record-winning butter. Record-winning margin of 429 from Lionel Messi. Oh my god.
Messi. That's one messy boy.
Oh my god.
He's got some messy hair.
He does. He looks like he's in trouble too. He's like, oh.
That jersey's messy as well.
Yeah, it has a lot of stuff on it. He's
like the Adidas stripes, and then what the fuck is that around the chest? What the hell? Like I get the logos, I get the sponsors, but like...
Well, like, I like the shoulders and I like the rib work, but like the stuff on the chest can go. Like, that's just weird. But...
Like, the sponsors are one thing, but... Like...
Okay, something's going on. I got a DM from Johnny. Luli and Zanny are talking about me in some way. I'm going to have to... Johnny, could you elaborate? What's going on? Anyway, let's move on up here to 2016, Mr. Blob.
Right. In 2016, Bill English is sworn in as the New Zealand Prime Minister, succeeding John Key and proving that New Zealand is under English control.
Ah, well, that's not a surprise right there. Oh.
That pun was too obvious. I had to make it.
Yeah.
In 2016... Oh. Now you also got it. In 20... Sorry.
Sorry,
what?
keep it together.
Wait, what?
The big fist is broke. Oh god.
Oh my god. Oh my god, this is wild. In 2017, Philippines President Rodrigo Duterte boasts he killed I think that means suspected criminals personally when mayor of Davao City.
Wow, so he admitted while he was mayor, he personally killed people. Jesus.
He just admitted to murder.
Wow.
What?
What the hell?
What did I just read?
I don't know.
2:30.
Hi, I'm Rodrigo and I'm a murderer. I kill suspected criminals.
Oh,
but
man.
He was known for his hard stance on drugs and crime and corruption, but that is a bit too hard.
When it was my third characters for State University, and I just committed a crime.
Damn. Anyway, 2018.
Yeah, so don't have Philippine presidents in your city when you commit crimes. In 2018, American Media Inc., publisher of National Enquirer, admits paying hush money to mistresses of U.S. President Donald Trump.
Well, that's not good.
Wait, that is not a good thing. It's not good at all.
They were very expensive.
Well, sir, you are a very silly man.
Where the hell is this lady? I've never heard of her.
You know, what he said. When you're rich and famous, they let you do everything.
Yep. Anyway,
it pays to make a cameo in Home Alone.
Moving back to Swolicus Silius. You have another one here in 2018.
Yeah, but it's true they even let you appear in Home Alone.
Yeah, he's in Home Alone too. 2018 British Prime Minister Theresa May survives 217 no confidence vote from own Conservative Party.
Wow, so her own party tried to vote against her, and then she somehow like lived through it. Like, how do you not get destroyed after no confidence passes against you? That makes no sense. Huh.
Well, maybe they were still confident, but there were enough votes to enough initiators to have the vote.
Dang. Oh wow. I see 2 more in 2018 for Kratos here, if he wishes.
In 2018, Russian cosmonauts Oleg Kononenko and Sergei Prokopiev complete complex spacewalk to fix hole in Soyuz spacecraft.
Dang.
Yeah.
Wow, I did not hear about that. That's crazy.
No idea. Yeah, it's cool.
If they hadn't fixed it, they probably would have burnt up on re-entry. Could you imagine being in space like, oh, we got to fix this hole. We have to put on suits, get out of our little tin can, and fix it, out in the vacuum of nothingness. That's insane. So.
Also in 2018, 7 mass graves in former Islamic State area discovered containing hundreds of bodies, some tortured near Abu Kamal, eastern Syria.
Wow. 7 mass graves. Holy crap, dude. Yeesh. So. And then,
but the story is that this whole that was I think the one in the International Space Station. I will put a link in the mic list, so maybe you can put it in the underbar.
I think you may be correct, but this says here the Soyuz spacecraft specifically, but maybe it was a spacecraft that was docked into the ISS.
Yeah, it could be. They worked from outside the ISS to inspect it.
Ah.
So it was docked to the ISS as far as I understand that.
Yeah, that picture looks like it too. So that would make sense. You'd want to dock in, because unless the problem is catastrophic, you can wait until you're docked and, then you can fix it with the proper materials and whatnot. So
that was not the ISS hull. It was another one that was fixed from outside the ISS.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this is that same one.
Okay.
But anyway, let's move on up to 2019. British general election won by Boris Johnson's Conservative Party in the landslide, won 80-seat majority. Scottish National Party also won 48 of 59 seats in Scotland. Well, all right. That doesn't sound too cool, though. Like, Scotland doesn't have majority seats in their own land, but oh well.
Yeah. Which is also, I think, Boris Johnson, the guy who did the Brexit. Right?
He did.
Britain leaving the European Union.
Yes, he did. He finalized Brexit and everything. So now the UK is no longer part of the EU. So. And then in 2020, Chinese leader Xi Jinping, aka Winnie the Pooh, said the country will reduce its carbon intensity by 65% by 2030. Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Yeah. All right.
You can say a lot. You just have to do it.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
2020 media personality Perez Hilton was banned from TikTok. Good.
Why that title I do not know. It's not that important.
Probably he was banned because they thought he impersonated Paris Hilton.
Yeah, like I've heard of this name. I know he did something bad or something weird, but I don't remember exactly what. But I know he's in my brain for something not good. So, but anyway,
it doesn't say anything here. So
yeah, I'm gonna take these last 2 articles here, and then we'll move on into births and deaths. Right. 2020, United Nations Chief Antonio Guterres urged world's leaders to declare climate emergency to avoid catastrophic global warming on 5th anniversary of Paris Climate Accord. Yada, yada, yada. Environmentalism crap.
I find it funny that it says that it says here global warming instead of global warming.
Yeah, I was
So
wondering
they
that too. Like the amount of
accidentally get the truth.
yeah, like the amount of misspellings we've encountered so far today is appalling. You know, coming from an actual source, like, you know, you'd think that they'd vet, you know, a little bit more, but apparently not. Kratos looked like he's about to pop. You doing all right? Okay.
Global warning.
Global warning.
Yeah.
And then in 2021, just last year, Dutchman Max Verstappen won Formula One Drivers' Championship for Red Bull with a controversial last lap win over Mercedes driver Lewis Hamilton in the season-ending Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. All right.
There is no controversy in that. Verstappen deserved it.
Was that
Hamilton didn't deserve that 9th championship.
was that the race where he overtook and nearly caused an accident, or was that another race?
Well, Hamilton's the one that keeps wrecking Max. I don't know why everybody says Max wrecks Hamilton when it's Hamilton wrecking Max. Like, there's been multiple occasions where Mercedes boy wrecks Red Bull boy.
Well, see, I have a theory. I have a theory as to why and how Hamilton keeps wrecking out Verstappen. Because Hamilton, driving Mercedes, doesn't use his bloody turn signals. He's not indicating, and he runs right into the guy next to him and causes a fucking avalanche. What a loser.
Formula One cars don't have turn signals.
It's a joke.
That's why he doesn't use them.
Oh, I know, but
Yeah,
still.
yeah. I know they don't have turn signals. I've seen cars, so.
Yeah, no, they're just your standard open wheel car. They have turn signals and everything.
Yeah. Anyway, before we move on to Burst and Death's audience watching the video, either live or afterwards, were there any articles that grabbed your attention more than most? Anything that you would wish we'd elaborated more about? Anything you would have liked to, to contribute if you were a part of the show? Start a dialogue in the comments section. Anyway, let's move on into Burst. It is Protoblob's turn in 1298.
And we have Albert II, Duke of Austria, born in Habsburg Castle in Swabia, Schwaben, and he died in 1358.
Ah, Swabia.
That's in today's southwest Germany.
Yep. Sam Hood, you got a good one here.
That's a big nose.
Yeah, better than mine.
In 1724, Samuel Hood, first Viscount Hood, British admiral in the American Revolutionary War and the French Revolutionary Wars, born in Batley, England.
Ah.
And he died in 1816.
Oh, hey, look, we have John J. Jekyllhire Smith. Oh, hey, that's my name, too. So, and it's Kratos' turn now.
John Jay was born in 1745. He's a U.S. statesman and first U.S. Chief Justice, born in New York City, New York.
All right, first U.S. Chief Justice. That's cool.
Doing, pal, what's going on?
And we have one in 1882 here, as soon as I find it. Oh, I guess that's after this one. Never mind.
Well, that's a big jump.
Yeah.
Damn. Alrighty. Edward Munch was born in 1863, a Norwegian painter and printmaker. The Scream, born in Adelsbruk, Luton in Norway.
Ah. So this is the guy who made the prints to Scream, so we all know that painting of the guy.
Yeah, he made like 5 versions.
Yeah. And then we have 1875, Gerd von Rundstedt, German field marshal during the Second World War, commander-in-chief in the West, born in Anscher. Can you pronounce that, Blob?
Aschleben.
That one, yes. German Empire. Yeah, I keep forgetting. Like, you know, why am I trying to pronounce German words? I have a German to do that for.
Aschleben.
Oh my god.
It was named. It is probably named after some. What is it called? aristocratic people.
Yeah.
One of those bloodlines, probably. I think.
The first thing that came to my mind, though, was AstraZeneca. So, anyway,
Well,
1882, we have Akiba Rubinstein, a Polish chess player, openings theorist, born in Stawisky, Poland, dying in 1961. Now, what is an openings theorist, Mr. Chess Blob guy?
Well, chess is it has essentially three main phases, which is the opening, the middle game, and the end game. And so the opening are the first few moves after the game starts, and there's a lot of theory about that. And the theory that is the evaluation of the first moves of the. Like you have variations on how the game can play out, like the Spanish opening, the French opening, Italian opening, and all of those different openings. And essentially, the sum of all the knowledge about that is the opening theory.
All right. And by the way, did you do well in your chess thing the other day? Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You tied or something, or your team.
Yes, I made a draw on the team one.
All right, awesome, dude, awesome. Anyway, it's now your turn. You got a really big name here in 1915.
All right, try to find the origin of the name Aschersleben, but I will move on to 19. Oh my God, yes. In 1915, we have the American singer Frank Sinatra, who did Strangers in the Night, My Way, The Summer Wind, and actor From Here to Eternity, Guys and Dolls, known as the chairman of the board and Old Blue Eyes, born in Hoboken, New Jersey, and in 1998 he died, unfortunately.
Fly me to the moon, let us dance among the stars. I know that's not the lyrics, but whatever. Ooh.
Yeah, but whatever he did it his way.
Yep. You got another big name here. Isn't this the guy who got into a fight with Adam Sandler?
I don't know, but from a legend of music, we go to a legend of television. In 1923, so it's his 99th birthday today, we have Bob Barker, the American TV game show host of The Price is Right and Truth of Consequences, born in Darrington, Washington, and our viewers are invited to tell us how much this is worth.
Bob Barker. I thought he died, though. Like...
But
no, he's alive. Huh. Alright.
And you also have his name.
It's now Rhombus's turn. He gets to talk about the Cooch.
Ed Koch. Born in 1924, he's an American congressman and New York City mayor from 1977 to 1989. Born in New York City, New York.
And of course, music fans know him because he was also helping with the concert in Central Park by Simon and Garfunkel.
Ah. One more?
Alrighty. The 90th birthday of Bob Petit. In 1932, American Basketball Hall of Fame forward Bob Petit was born. He was an NBA MVP 1956 and 1959. Born in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Baton Rouge. I've heard of that place several
Yes.
times. Oh, yeah.
Baton Rouge.
And then we have
Yeah,
Dionne Warwick. Sorry, what, Blub?
Yeah, Baton Rouge, that is French for a red weapon with which you can hit people.
Ah. Alright. Well, I guess people in that city are living in a weapon. So...
I don't know, isn't a baton this weapon?
Yeah, that's right. A baton. Yeah, so a red baton. Huh. That's interesting. I'm gonna have to look that up. The history of that city. So.
In my eyes, nightstick.
Yeah, it actually Oh my god, I was making a joke, but it actually comes from the French for red stick.
For red stick. So it's literally called red stick. Huh.
Yes.
That's interesting. Anyway, 1940, we have Dionne Warwick, is a U.S. singer. I Say a Little Prayer and Do You Know the Way to San Jose. Also, That's What Friends Are For. Born in East Orange, New Jersey. Alright. And then, who else do we have? Rajan Kanath, 1950, is an Indian film actor, Centenary Award of 2014, born in Bangalore, India. And I know how to pronounce that word because of the Bangalore torpedoes used in Operation Overlord. Bangalore! Oh. But yeah. Anyway, right back to Mr. Blob.
Okay, and I found some historical information about why Baton Rouge was named like it.
Alright.
So the explorers of an exploration by French Pierre Lemoyne de Iberville in 1698 found a red pole marking the boundary between the Huma and Bayagola tribal hunting grounds, and apparently it was named after that.
Ah. Okay.
So I think I'm in 1962.
Yes, you are.
And we have the 60th birthday of Tracy Austin, American tennis player who won the US Open 1979 and 1981. Born in Palos Verdes Peninsula, I think you say it?
That is correct.
Yeah.
Palos Verdes. I've been there, actually. So, yeah, the Palos Verdes Peninsula. Fun place. Oh.
Well, if that's all good things you have to say about it, we continue to 1970. The 52nd birthday of Jennifer Connelly, American actress, Labyrinth, Requiem for a Dream, born in the Catskill Mountains in New York.
I've heard about the Catskill Mountains.
Those cats have skills.
Yes, they do. Especially on the mountains.
Skilled cat.
Yes.
Skilled cat.
Yep.
And I have only one more, it seems, so
Yep.
I think I will do that.
Go for it.
In 1994, we have a very controversial person, Otto Warmbier, the American student detained in North Korea after stealing a poster, born in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Didn't he like die or like off himself or something after he got back to the States? Like he was completely rattled.
Yeah, in 2017, I thought he died in prison. Yeah, Mandela effect jokes. I know. No. He went back apparently to. Let me see that.
Because I think he either killed himself or he died because of like the mistreatment and stuff he had in the North Korean prisons. Like they starved him, they beat him, they tortured him.
Yes, and then he was in a coma, and he was brought back home to the United States, but he died in the coma less than a week later.
Yeah, I thought so. Because I'm like, why don't they have his death on here? Like, they should, like, because it's historically accurate, so.
Yes.
No reason to start war with North Korea. Spill American blood.
Yeah. Anyway,
we should have went to war with them because of that.
Yeah, but if you start war against North Korea, that will pretty much escalate into a global thermonuclear war, and then there are no winners.
Well, technically, we are at war with North Korea. Like, the Korean War never ended. We just had a ceasefire. But technically, North and South Korea, as well as the United States and North Korea, we have been at war with them, since the 50s. So it's never...
Didn't the war end in 2019 when Donald Trump went there?
I don't know. I don't know if they signed any peace agreements or anything. But as far as like documentation is concerned, and actual like how governments do things, as far as I'm aware of, we're still in an active war with them. So.
So it seems like only South Korea and North Korea signed the peace treaty.
Well, maybe we did too because we were on the South Korean side. So maybe as part of their allies. I'm not sure. I don't pay attention to these things. But
And in 2018. Okay, you continue.
yeah, I'm gonna move on to deaths here. Mr. Kratos, would you care to start us off here in 884?
Alrighty, in the year 884. Yeah, I caught myself there. 884. Carloman, co-king of France from 879 and 882 to 884 went splat.
Just dies suddenly.
Dies.
Sudden death syndrome.
Sudden death.
Well, there are.
Coinkydink. Wonder if we get a strange coinkydink like the other day.
Huh.
With the excessive, the same death. Like, everybody dying of the same exact thing.
Oh, yeah, that's happened a couple of times. Like, there was one time a while ago when Scott was on the show, there was a lot of politicians dying on that date, and they were all dying of, brain cancer or something. I was like, what's going on with politicians and brain cancer today? Like, what the fuck? It was wild.
It's like, how do they die of brain cancer when they are a cancer?
I know, right?
Yeah.
They literally are cancer.
Yeah.
It was actually Carloman II, by the way. I don't know why they didn't write that, but...
Well, as I said, numerous spelling mistakes throughout today's articles, so... But hey, it looks like we're going to be jumping up 1,000 years to 889.
In the year 1889... Yeah, I saw you mess it up, Victor. I
fucked up the other way.
In 1889, English poet Ringen Book dies at 77. The guy that died, Robert Browning.
Yep.
So...
Did he die being Did he die from pooping?
Did
he pull an Elvis?
No, I was first thinking of the Browning automatic rifle. So I was like,
yeah, I did. I was saying the same thing. I was like, did he make the gun?
Anyway, 1894, we have John Thompson, died on this date. He was the 4th Prime Minister of Canada for the Conservative Party from 1892 through 94. Died of a sudden heart attack at 49. Huh. That's a little suspicious there.
Eyebrows.
Just
eyebrows.
Then we have Menelik II, 1913, an emperor of Ethiopia from 1889 through 1913, and the Negus/King of Shewa from 1866 through 89, dies at the age of 69. He was born in 1844, and yes, the word Negus means king, so it's the good N word, I guess.
Yeah, but that word also caused some hilarity in a spelling bee contest.
Yes, I remember that. I've seen that clip.
Yes.
Huh?
They're like, what do you want me to say?
It's like that clip from South Park where they gave him a word that was very controversial, but it turned out to be something else entirely.
The people who annoy you, naggers. So.
Yeah, and then he said the other word.
Yeah, and dude, he said it with his chest too. Like he said it like N-word. Like he was so proud of it.
I think the one that you meant was some Wheel of Fortune parody on South Park.
Was it Wheel of Fortune?
I think they parodied Wheel of Fortune where he...
I think you're right. Whichever one has the spelling TV thing. So, yeah. I don't know. I don't watch these game shows, so I don't have a clue. But anyway, you got one here in 1939, Mr. Blob.
All right. We have Douglas Fairbanks, American actor from The Mask of Sorrow, The Three Musketeers, and Robin Hood. Dies from a heart attack at 56, born in 1883.
Ah. Well, here we go. I'm starting to see today's pattern, heart attacks. So.
The two good movies he did, the one good movie he does, Robin Hood.
Huh.
The one good movie he was in, The Three Musketeers, was It was just mediocre.
Yeah.
At best.
Well, I didn't see them, so I cannot say anything.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of them either, so.
In 1950, we have Peter Fraser, the British-born New Zealand statesman and 24th Prime Minister of New Zealand from 1940 to 1949. He dies of a heart attack following hospitalization with influenza at 66. He was born in 1884.
Dang. And then we got 1951 here for Swolodus Maximus.
Mildred Bailey, American jazz singer known as the Queen of Swing. Rocking chair, please be kind, darn that dream. Dies of heart failure at 44.
Damn.
In the year 1951. Boy.
And then, oh, here we go.
Boy. Let's go. Boy. Alrighty. In 2006, Paul Arizin, American college / basketball Hall of Fame small forward, NBA championship 1956, 10-time NBA All-Star, NBA scoring champion 1952-1957, played for the Philadelphia Warriors, dies in his sleep at 78.
Wow. Well,
It's a natural causes.
Yeah, so that's how,
Sucks.
that's a good way to go out in your sleep. So, me personally, I want to get hit by a bus full of nuns, but I don't think they travel that way anymore.
Oh, not Peter Boyle.
We got Peter Boyle, 2006, was a U.S. actor for Joe Candidate. Everybody Loves Raymond. Oh, this guy, yeah, he was also, wasn't he also the monster in Young Frankenstein? He played the Frankenstein's monster, I believe.
Mayhaps.
Yeah. Died of multiple myeloma at 71. What the hell is multiple myeloma? Well, let's see here.
That's more than one myeloma.
Yeah, multiple myeloma is a cancer that forms in a type of white blood cell called a plasma cell. Healthy plasma cells help you fight infections by making antibiotics and recognize and attack germs. In multiple myeloma, cancerous plasma cells accumulate in the bone marrow and crowd out healthy blood cells. So basically, he died of bad blood. Yeesh. But Peter Boyle, I swear he was in Young Frankenstein. Peter Boyle, Young. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, he played the monster in Young Frankenstein. Here he is. Oops, wrong one. Here, blah. You see him?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's him.
Bald.
Balls. Poor guy.
Oh, that was Gene Van Wilder.
Yeah, Gene Wilder. Yeah, he played. He played Young Frankenstein. Peter Boyle played the monster.
It's Willy Wonka.
Willy Wonka. And then I'm just gonna take this 2021 here. Vincent Fernandez, Mexican Grammy Award-winning singer known as El Rey de la Música Ranchera, the king of ranchera music, actor and film producer, died at the age of 81. Wow. All right, and Blob, you were going to say something?
Yeah, Peter Boyle also played Clyde Brackman in the X-Files episode Clyde Brackman's Final Repose, which was a very great acting, and he also got the Emmy Award in 1996 for this.
Well, nice. All right. Well, happy birthday to the births, rest in peace to the deaths, and that shall conclude the show. Once again, you can check the underbar in the description for any links you may find interesting, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. For your dose of Pass Events Daily, we stream every day at 10 in the morning Pacific Time.
1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
7 p.m. German time.
Yep. And for all of you and all of us, I am Xander.
I am the Slayer.
And I am Protoblock.
And you, of course, are you. And until you catch us tomorrow, or if you're interested in news, notable events, weather, and sports, we have a show coming up at 2 p.m. Pacific Time in a couple hours here. Anyway, until you see us again, until then, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles!
Toodles!